Hi, this is Doug Uterberg.
And this is Tate Burns.
And we have a short video here. We wanted to walk you through the process and show you some examples of how we went through and organized the topics for our LGO or our lead generation offer. This is, of course, just a part of what we're teaching in the Perpetual Prospect System course over at imgenomeproject.com. But a lot of people haven't, we use mind maps all the time in organizing our business and brainstorming, and as a pretty much a required component anytime we write anything. And we didn't really have a chance to show that to our students, so we wanted to make this video to show how we use mind maps. This is a mind map that includes all the topics for our LGO, and it's what we use to organize and prepare for writing it. We're using FreeMind, which is a open source mind mapping software, and it's really fantastic. I've never found it lacking. I use mind maps, as I said, every day, so definitely a great thing to download. It takes a little bit of sort of getting used to in terms of mindset and how to think about using it, but with some of these examples it might help. So I'm going to show you first the original list that Tate created. Tate did all of the research, so maybe as I'm scrolling through here, Tate, you could explain a little bit of what you did to, what this is, first of all, what we're looking at, and what you did to develop it.
Okay. Well, to develop this list, what I did is I had to find the questions that were on the people's mind of exactly what a new camper would want to know, a new 10 camper would want to know about going camping. So I went to different camping sites and found sites that had FAQs. I went to different question sites like answers.com, things like that, and I found what was on the mind of the newbie camper, because that is our ideal prospect. Newbie camper with kids. And these are the questions. I found 30 questions so that we'd have plenty for our LGO and for our incubator.
Fantastic. Yeah, and it's such a great way to start. You start with the questions, you build a long list. It gives you good, material for brainstorming about what you want to put into your lead generation offer. So that you're looking at the original list that Tate put together. I think I may have added one or two questions, but it was very complete. So we took that list and we started dividing it up, and we really had the main goal of what do we want to put into our LGO. And it's a 10-point guide, so we're looking at 10 points that we could include in our LGO. But the rest of the things, we started saying, well, let's put it in our incubator, which is the email follow-up series, or the blog. And that's how we kind of organized. Then as we were going through, we had some ideas about back-end offers and things we could sell to this audience, and we put those ideas here. So what we came up with for the LGO was these 10 points. I'm not going to go through them individually, but I do want to point out that instead of questions, now what you're looking at is statements. So instead of, I don't know if I can find it on the original list here, but so here's how do you keep your kids occupied when it's raining? How do you make meals? How do you keep your gear dry in the rain? So there's questions about rain, which is definitely something on the mind of our ideal prospect who's never gone camping before. But we don't put them as a question. We want to make it as a statement. So we turn it into a statement that just says, prepare for rainy conditions. Then we had select a campground that provides a true camping experience. So instead of where do I go camping, where's the best place to go, we're putting it into more of advice in a statement. So that's a critical thing to do. And you can see we've got our 10 statements here, and we'll show you the finished product in a minute. So those are the topics we put in our LGO. And then we ended up with a huge list of things that we could put into the incubator and blog post. And you can see some of these are questions still. How do I make meals when it's raining? Here's a statement, a great rain or shine camping game for kids. So we had gone through during our brainstorming process and converted them to statements and moved them around. So some of these were potentially going to be in the LGO, and then we moved them over to this blog post category. And here's some of the stuff that really is kind of right now in the wrong place, because we went a little deeper about what were some of the things we could do for rain, and some of these ended up in the LGO. So it's a little bit of evidence of the brainstorming that we did. As you can see, we have plenty of great content now for our blog and for our email follow-up series. We will not be wanting for topics for a long time to be able to, to build out this niche business we're building. And then as we were coming up with things, we thought, well, we had several conversations, but what we ended up with is, of course, we could sell tents and stoves and lanterns and physical products as an affiliate. We could sell games that, people could download and use in the tent or in the campsite. We had some grand ideas about the ultimate guide for a first-time camper, because we certainly have enough content and enough knowledge to create a really good ebook that's the full guide for, going on your first camping trip with kids. But that's the last one on the list, because it's really a big undertaking, and we're looking for simple ways to get some revenue going. So what ended up on the top of the list was a cookbook. And Tate, tell me a little bit about why that was on the top.
Well, a lot of people don't have a clue about how to cook out in the open. They may know how to cook at the house or on a barbecue grill or something like that, but the first thing they're going to want to do when they get to camp is have something to eat. And this was a very simple, since me and Doug have both been camping for a while. We both understand the outdoor camping, the outdoor cooking thing. So it's fairly easy for us to throw together a couple weeks worth of recipes and the grocery list that it would take to make those recipes. And it's something we can get out really quick and really easy to have out there as our first back-end sale.
Yeah, and it also has a high value. I mean, it's like you said. I mean, it's something that I think we even said we would buy. Even with being experienced, it's just very convenient to have someone do a whole grocery list and recipe book. Then you don't have to write it down yourself. So, pretty excited about that. I know it's going to sell well, and as you follow along, you'll be able to see us do that. So, I don't want to make this too long, so I'm just going to run over and zoom you through the end result. So we wrote this together. We got on the phone, much like what you're hearing now, and just went through and banged it out in an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Something like that.
Let's say 3, because you did some formatting and stuff. And
right, I did a little bit of an outline to start with, yeah.
Yeah, you had some of the stuff stubbed in. But, if you're really focused and you've got somebody you can work with, you can really do these things. And, of course, if you know the topic, it didn't take us long. So just kind of scrolling through, this is very simple. We do have an ebook cover in the beginning that you just saw. Other than that, we didn't spend any time on what kind of images can we use, and let's put photos or formatting. It's just nice and clean with headers, a few paragraphs for each section. Some are longer than others. It's all very helpful. I think it's definitely something I can stand behind. I feel good about. I think it's provides the right kind of information, and it's a nice size. So you can see it's 9 pages, and then at the end we have just our resources. So this brings them back to our website, and we have not yet written the reviews, but we wanted to make sure we had something in there. We can always edit our PDF, but for now, we've got, we know we're going to do camping stove reviews. We know we're going to do recipes. We know we're going to do sleeping bag reviews and tent reviews, and also want them to come back to the main site. So that's it. That's the LGO that we created and some of the brainstorming, mind mapping process we went through to get there. So thank you very much, and good luck building your business.